Hey guys, Budget Jedi here. Wanted to do a quick video. Somebody in the community asked me, how did you make that straw hat on your Mezco figure? So, as you can see, I made this little tiny straw hat for my Marvel Legends / Articulated Icon / Mezco figures. So, since I'm going to have to make one for my other figure here, figured I'll show you guys what I did. And what I'm using is actually leftover clamshell from any action figure, so just make sure you have enough for the size of the hat, and I will be covering it in masking tape, and of course I will be coloring it with whatever acrylic paint that you want the color of the hat to be. So that's what I'm going to use for the most part. I'll also need super glue here, and of course a knife to cut it. And actually, towards the end, I will be using some leftover strings to attach it to the actual head itself. So, let's begin. First step is to cut up a circle out of the leftover clamshell here. I'm going to try to save material by doing it at the edge. But the guide that I'm using is about 2.5 inches in diameter. You don't have to use that size, of course. I just happen to like that size, and this is the thing that I have to size it up with. It'd be better if you have an actual compass of some sort, and I'm just going to cut it. Got my clamshell plastic here, so what I'm going to do now is to draw one line that I'm going to cut from the center point, or what I think is the center point, all the way to the edge. And we're going to cut that line. All the way to the center. So again, a small cut. The idea is just to super glue one side over the other. And the more you push it in, the more the hat is deeper. Let me see. I hope you guys can see this basic shape there. Okay, so let's say I want to fold it up to here. What I did was I cut off some extra material here, but leave just enough for the super glue to stick. So and then I'm going to fold it over and let it dry, which with super glue, as you know, it takes a little bit of time. I like to use one of these crimpers and just clamp it for the time being. Just kind of hold it there. Okay, now the glue is hardened, and I have the basic shape of the hat. The next thing I'm going to do simply is just to use masking tape to cover all over it in sort of triangular patterns. The reason I'm using masking tape is because it's paintable, and I just happen to have some around. Okay, I've got 3 rows of masking tape here, and the idea is to cut it in case you guys can't see, I'm going to draw out the pattern where I'm going to cut it. But it really doesn't have to be that neat. So I'm going to be cutting it in sort of a zigzag pattern, so that I can get these pieces of triangle that I can then put on the hat in layers. So in my experience, you don't really need to have a certain length. All you need to worry about is that it will cover the length of this hat, because later on we're going to be able to cut off any excess on the outside. So just to show you here, I'm going to peel off one piece that I cut and put it right on top of the hat. It really only needs to cover the length of the hat. It really doesn't need to be fancy length or exact length. And then the second one is going to go right on top of the first one by a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to make it so that it looks like it's layered. Take another piece here. Third piece is going to go right over the second piece, and the fourth piece will go over the third piece, and so on. I don't know if anyone can see that clearly. I'm not even doing it perfectly, but, you know, I'm just trying to pile it on there. And the idea is we're going to do it all the way around the top and repeat the same exact thing all the way in the bottom. So it's really a very simple process, a little tedious, but simple. Okay, so just finished basically the top part. Just need this one piece. That's just going to be one tape piece that's going to go over everybody else. I'm going to repeat it on the bottom now. Okay, I've pretty much finished both sides of the hat. I'm going to do a quick trimming now. If you're unsure of where the edges are, you can always pinch it like this and you can see it. And actually, this would be a really good opportunity to trim that hat if you feel like it's too big, which mine is a little bit too big, I think. Alright, finished trimming around the edges. I think pretty much, even if it's not perfect, that's okay by me because it makes it actually look a little more believable as a feudal Japan time hat. Now I'm going to just quickly size it up here. I think I'm pretty happy with the result. So on to painting, which is very simple. Basically just take acrylic paint and put it all over it. Alright guys, so first thing I'm going to do is put black paint because I like the undertone of my hat to be black and I like it looking a little grimy. So I'm going to put black paint all over the top and the bottom. Okay, so my paint is dry now on both sides, and I'm going to put the final color. I'm going to use suede color here. I like my second hat a little more bright colored. Now, I don't really have good painting techniques, but since I want it to look sort of like straw, I'm going to just follow a downward pattern, and I will actually water this down a little bit. That way I feel like the black paint can show a little bit underneath it. Okay, so that's about 3 or 4 layers of the suede paint right on top of the black, and I'm gonna do the same on the bottom here. Okay, so I've got my 2 hats, and I'm going to take it one step further and add a little piece of string to it so it can fit the heads that I put them on. And you can use any string you want, technically, but I suggest using elastic string. They're pretty cheap to buy in the hobby store, and they can really fit around the figure's head. First thing I'm going to do is take this approximate measurement. I definitely don't think I'll need more than this. Cut it right here. Next I'm going to tie it off right on the bottom here because I like it looking like it's tied off right at the chin part. Okay, so it's supposed to look like this. Hopefully it doesn't really look ridiculous. Okay, now I'm gonna cut right in the middle. It doesn't look like I'll need more than this. So my plan is just to take the ends here and super glue it right to the hat and tape it using one of these leftover masking tapes. Okay, so I just finished 2 hats today. One is for my Mezco figure, and the other is for my Articulated Icons figure. It's a lot smaller. Did it purposely. And the super glue and a little bit of paint here dried off very quickly. So, you know, I think that elastic cord is really nice. It's a little thick though, probably for the figure. But the reason I'm using clamshell underneath, I think it just makes it a lot sturdier than just using paper. If anyone has any suggestions to improve this, please let me know in the comments below or post the link down below. So let's put these hats on. I'm assuming this one you can just put on by pulling the chin down. You could kind of take off the head, I guess. It might be easier, but just trying to see how sturdy and tight it will be. I wanted this one to kind of rest on in front of his chin there. And it's looking pretty good so far. So, not bad for a quickie 1 hour hat. It takes about 1 hour to make it. And for Logan, hoping his man bun doesn't get in the way here. It's gonna have to go behind his chin hair. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think what's nice about it is because it's a little tighter, you can easily adjust it forward, adjust it back, and I guess you can even put it like that. I actually like that look of him just having it kind of in the back there. So hopefully it helps people, and if you guys know of any alternatives, again, feel free to post it in the comments. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.